Okay, I'm going to go through a couple of items to look at when we're shopping and how to read specific labels on different items. I've got several different varieties here. As you can see, I've got a couple of nutraceuticals and vitamins, and I've got some beans and crackers and some pastas. So let's start over here on the right. We're going to go ahead and start with the refried beans. When you're looking at these labels, you'll see right here it says fat-free. So this is going to be a fat-free food. It does say it's vegetarian, and it is traditional organic refried beans. You have the non-GMO verified label right here, and then the picture just mentions that it's a suggestion for the type of serving. One thing that you'll notice, it has this non-BPA lining, which is really important when you're buying canned goods. When they have a lining in there, that helps keep the product fresh, and it keeps it from being contaminated. Also, if it's a BPA-free lining, you're not going to get those leached chemicals into your food. That's especially important with tomato products if you're buying a lot of canned goods. So just something for you to be aware of there. We're going to roll this around here, and it says how to use these, the fact that they are a good source of fiber and they're versatile. You can make some serving suggestions here, how to make them. Refrigerate any unused portions in a glass or plastic container. You never want to refrigerate open cans of food in the can that they come in for fear of toxic poisoning leaching into the food because of the can, maybe rust or something like that that could happen over time with condensation and the cold air. So if you have any questions, it does have a comment section. You can go to their website. You can look up how they process their food, where they source their ingredients. It looks like they're even supporting the World Wildlife Foundation. I'm not too sure how the World Wildlife Federation or Foundation does their donations and what exactly they do. A lot of these companies have ulterior motives, so that's not super important for me, but I do like the fact that I can recycle it. If you are allergic to gluten or you have a gluten intolerance, there's a gluten-free logo right there. One thing about gluten-free foods is that a lot of foods naturally are gluten-free, and they're starting to state that they're gluten-free as if that's a selling point. So that's something to be aware of, that not all foods need to be labeled as gluten-free because they are already naturally occurring. If you do have a gluten intolerance, please check with your healthcare provider or your nutrition coach to find out what foods are the best foods that naturally do not have gluten. So when we come over here, we're going to look at the nutrition facts. Now, this is your serving size, which is 1/2 cup or 130 grams. The whole amount of servings in the container is about 3.5, and that's an approximate amount because it, give or take depending on settling and weight and all of that. Here's your calorie content, and then your calories from fat. So it is a zero calories from fat. And you go down here and you see that there are no trans fats, no saturated fats, no fats. Beans are a fat-free food. The reason I mentioned that it was vegetarian is because a lot of the traditional refried beans are going to have your animal fats in them, like lard, and will contain significant amounts of fat. So that's something to be aware of when you're shopping if you need to be on a reduced fat diet. Sodium, 360 milligrams. Now you'll see over here that they've got percentage of daily value. What does that mean? Percentage of daily value, that's based off of a diet if you are consuming 2,000 calories a day. So if you are looking at your calorie content and you're looking at all of these little numbers here, it's going to break it down to make it super easy for you. This is going to be, the total sodium is going to be 15% of my total percentage of sodium for a 2,000 calorie a day diet. Now, if you have more calories per day, that's not going to be a 15% amount. That's going to be a little bit lower. And if you have less than 2,000 calories that you're consuming per day, that percentage is going to be a little bit higher. So you just need to be able to be aware of that. And again, talk to your healthcare provider or your nutrition coach for more information. So carbohydrates, typically beans are a naturally occurring carbohydrate in the food. They're not going to be that really simple carbohydrate. They're more of a complex carbohydrate, especially when you add it to rice. It makes it more of a complex carbohydrate. So if you're concerned about your carbohydrate intake, look at your dietary fiber. Beans have a great source of fiber. These are 5 grams. So what you can typically do is just subtract your fiber from your total amount of carbohydrates, and that gives you 13 grams of total carbohydrates. So that's going to be a really good carbohydrate, low content there, good source of fiber. You want definitely to consume fiber daily. And then sugars are less than 1 gram. You don't want any added sugars in your diet as well. Then your protein. Your protein is going to be 6 grams of protein. It doesn't break out the percentage value because, again, protein levels are going to be different for different bodies and different lifestyles. So that is something to look at. So good amount of protein. Then you jump down here and it's going to break down your amount of vitamin A, your calcium, your vitamin C, and your iron. As you can see, these are pretty negligible amounts of all of these vitamins. I don't typically pay a lot of attention to this, only because if I'm buying a processed food, I know that it's not going to contain all the vitamins and nutrients that I need. So I'm going to really just kind of be observant of that, but not put a whole lot of credence to that. Your whole foods, your naturally occurring foods that aren't processed are going to have a lot more vitamin and nutrient content than anything ever processed. So then you want to look down here at your ingredients list. And you see here that the first ingredient is water, and then you have organic pinto beans and sea salt. That's it, nothing else. You don't want a lot of other ingredients in your food. It's simple, keep it simple, and I don't want to say stupid, but keep it simple. Then you've got the Quality Assurance International and where it's manufactured and how it's produced. Can lining not derived from BPA. Okay, so that's really pretty simple as far as what we're looking for in beans or canned goods. We want to look for that lining, look for your non-GMO if it doesn't have the organic label. If it doesn't have the non-GMO verified label, look for the USDA organic. All right, and then of course they've got these fat-free and all that other good stuff in there. I'm going to jump over here now. I'm switching gears a little bit. I'm going to go to this vitamin C that I have. I do a buffered, it's a nutribiotic vitamin C. And you see here where science works naturally. So what they're essentially saying is that, hey, we've got a natural product here that we've used our scientific minds to create, and it's a crystalline powder. So what is sodium ascorbate? Well, what is that going to be? It says buffered. Well, you come over here, it says it's a pharmaceutical grade. It's non-bitter, non-acidic. It's buffered, so that means it's not going to be very hard on your body. It's going to be something that you are going to be able to easily absorb and easily digest. And it also gives you a little bit of a warning here. It says that by having too much of them could cause loose stools or sodium. It's not the kind of sodium that you would find in salt. So it's not going to be the type of sodium that is going to be associated with hypertension. It says these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. So the reason they put that on there is for the health community. This has not been tested as far as the FDA goes, and because of certain regulations and rights, they have to put that on there for liability purposes. So that is going to be on there. Always check with your healthcare physician or a dietitian or whomever it is that you're working with as far as how much to take. Because if you're taking something, any kind of supplement, you never know what kind of a reaction you're going to get. So make sure that it's a safe supplement for you and your needs. The other thing I wanted to mention is when you come over here and you're looking at serving size, we'll look at the supplement facts. It's 1/4 teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon is a very, very small amount. And look at how much you get of vitamin C in 1/4 teaspoon. You get 1,112 milligrams. That's a tremendous amount of vitamin C in a tiny little amount of a product. This particular item was not very much. I believe it was somewhere around $15 to $20 possibly, which is a lot less expensive than all of the other vitamin C supplements that are available. And the amount that you get is huge. So the sodium, again, as mentioned, that is not the type of sodium that would cause hypertension or that you get from table salt. So that is more of something to help the absorption. And you look down here, it's a vegan and hypoallergenic, so you're not going to have any allergenic reaction to this. It also says that it's made without common food allergies. And it contains no rose hips, no animal products, no lubricants, no starch, no colorings, no flavorings, no preservatives. This really is free of almost everything. It doesn't contain any corn residue, plant antigens, protein impurities, none of that good stuff. So it says United States Pharmacopoeia, Food Chemical Codex. So what that means is that, and look, it's even got your pH balance there, so it's pH balanced. It lets you know that this is a super safe product. The more information that they can provide on these labels, the more informed you are as a consumer. So if it doesn't have any information about all of that, then you can probably expect it to contain some of those items. There are certain restrictions that they are required to put in there because of allergy issues and whatnot, but The more information, the better, and the fewer the ingredients, the better. So less is more and more is less in that sense, if that's confusing. The next thing I'm going to go to, I'm going to jump over here to the sweet organic potato crackers. These are a great little snack for a pick-me-up. They are non-GMO verified. That's one label you can look for. Certified gluten-free, another label to look for when you're looking at food. Gluten-free, as I said, flaxseed, sesame, and chia. So we're going to jump over here. It's got these nice little codes here that you can scan into a phone or a barcode, and you can look up more information about the product. Again, it's got the serving sizes and the percentages and not very much sodium there, and a good source of protein and fairly low carbohydrates based on that 2,000 calorie diet. It says 1 ounces, which is about 16 crackers, so you can actually count them out and know how much you're getting. It does say allergy information, made in a facility that uses dairy, soy, sesame seeds, and flaxseed. If you have any kind of allergy or allergic reaction to those products, you are not going to want to consume this particular item. However, if you do have a sensitivity to peanuts, this is not going to be an issue because they do not use peanuts in this facility where they process this food. So this is going to be a safe food for even people with peanut allergies, potentially, but always check with your healthcare provider. Once again, negligible amounts of vitamins and nutrients, only because this is not a nutrient-dense food. This is a snack food. It does have some nice organic chia seeds, and it's got some sesame seeds and flaxseed. So these are going to be great, and again, pick-me-up little high-energy snack, great for the kids' lunches and for a quick on-the-go, something to throw in your car or to carry along with you. Now, the last item I'm going to go to really quick is going to be these two different types of pastas here. We've got Annie's organic shells and cheddar, and then Spiral's butter parmesan made with organic pasta. So we got organic, and then this is certified organic. So what's the difference between these two? Well, this one is going to contain more organic products than this one. Ingredients. So this one does say that it's cheese from cows not treated with RBST, which is a growth hormone. You want to make sure that if you are getting a dairy product, avoid growth hormones. Make sure it does mention that. This one over here says it's made without antibiotics, no synthetic hormones or persistent pesticides. So that doesn't say that it wasn't grown with the RBST, but there are no synthetic hormones. So it is produced, and you're not going to find hormones in pasta, so they are referring to the cheese portion of this particular item. So real quick, as we wrap this baby up, we're going to look at these nutrition facts. All right. So you can see that they're relatively the same. They both have a fairly high amount of sodium, which is going to be pretty common in a boxed processed food. So again, with hypertension issues, you're going to want to avoid that or find the low sodium content. A little bit of sugars added there, which is probably going to be in the milk and the powdered cheese that they have in here. Then you also notice that it's got two different columns. Mix and as prepared. So what this means is that just this box, all of the ingredients in this box are going to contain this amount of this item, or that percentage of the daily values, and then the prepared is going to have this amount. So it's going to change based on the different products that you actually put into these. So this is just really a ballpark idea, again, with the folic acid, with all of these other vitamins and minerals, not a significant amount of any. Okay, this one has a little bit more vitamin B1 or thiamine. But again, these are not whole foods, so you want to get those items from whole foods more so than you want to get them from processed foods. All right, then it goes through your ingredients. Again, you want to look for that, and look, it says non-GMO ingredients, free of genetically modified organisms. So it may not have that non-GMO certified label on it, but it does say that it has no GMO ingredients, and that's super important because even though this one, it only says it's made with organic pasta, all the other ingredients are going to be non-GMO, and you're not going to get those added growth hormones. So those are some things to look for. 100% real cheese, and then whole grain, as you see there. So the whole grain, what they're referring to, is going to be right back here, organic wheat, Spiral pasta, organic wheat, organic whole grain wheat. So they're saying that they use the whole grain, but we do know that this is a processed food. So again, use common sense and know that any processed food is going to have it's not going to be in its whole form, okay? So this isn't a true whole grain food. So keep that in mind. Don't let that fool you, okay? Whole grains mean whole grains, eating the grain whole, as they are in nature, all right? And that should do it for our presentation today. If you have any questions regarding any of these foods that we've gone over, or any other questions that you have regarding shopping or what to look for on your labels, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.